right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, all. Good morning. Got a whole host of things to talk about this AM, and especially, the government's push to make it harder for women to vote, or for a lot of people to vote, actually, because there are a lot of people who have name changes. Hell, even JD has a different name on his birth certificate than the one he uses. Hey, little Kiki, good morning to you, beautiful. I know I'm late this morning. I was digging and looking at stuff. Y'all, did y'all see that little interview Thomas Massey had with the media yesterday? Hey, David, it is heating up on that Epstein stuff. That Epstein stuff is heating up. Heating up. Do you understand? Heating up bigly. Hey, Robbie G. Heating up bigly. Okay? It is heating up because, again, people are seeing that the federal government is an active cover-up. Somebody said disenfranchisement. Agreed. Now I'm going to make this a little bigger so you can see what's written on this bird. Y'all see that? Yeah, I'll be on later today. I wasn't yesterday because I got sidetracked, but I will be on today. That's why I put this picture up, because I'm like, check out that bird. Honey. And you got to love the conservatives who say, what's the big deal with voter ID? Well, people, your ID already had to be validated for you to get the voter registration card. Now, people act like every time somebody go to vote, they're getting $1,000. You don't get money to vote. You don't get money to vote. Right. It is a poll tax, David. It is designed to make it so that it's hard for people to vote. Good morning, Miss Shannon. It's a damn shame that, and then Americans will sit there who support this shit will say, well, what's the big deal? Well, you already got to show ID, though. You already got to be validated as an individual to get a voter registration fucking card. Yeah, the reason why the administration is saying that they want ICE at polling places, ultimately, you guys, it's about stealing those midterm elections. They are afraid that Democrats are going to win the midterm elections. And because Trump thinks the Democrats will win and then hold him accountable because Republicans will not, well, now it comes down to just stealing it. Yep, intimidate voters and get people that they just won't show up. They want to make it so you don't show up. Why? Because when Trump's not on the ballot, Republicans don't show up to vote for Republicans. Catch that part. Yep. When Trump is not on the ballot, Republicans do not show up to vote for Donald Trump. And so the Trump administration is going to try to do everything in their power to stop Americans from exercising their constitutional right, which is for you to vote. Hey, Kay, good morning to you. So you got to be loud about this. And quiet is kept. Remember, the House already passed it. And they say to people, oh, just you can use a passport. But nobody don't want to tell you the government, the Trump administration, right? The Trump administration made it so that nonprofit libraries can no longer process passport applications. But yet, this is not about taking away somebody's right to vote. My only thing is this. While Republicans kiki and laugh on the shit, it's all funny until a liberal get in charge and do the same thing. It's all funny until a liberal gets in charge and does the same thing. This is why I tell liberals to match the fucking energy. And it's also why I tell liberals, when you're talking about things that the administration is doing, what you need to do is say, okay, I mean, if that's what conservatives feel like it's okay for Trump to do, can't wait till we get in charge to match the energy. No, but that's the problem, Nessa. Liberals need to stop following the fucking rules all the time. That's the problem. And we need to make that clear to liberals. If you're going to get in there and act like a punk Y'all know what we talking about. I'm about to hit you with the rush hour. If you gonna get in there and act like a punk bitch, we don't want to vote for you. Because we want people that's gonna get in there to match the energy. I'm gonna tell you something. One way to keep somebody in line is to match their fucking energy. Hey dude, good morning. Good morning, Hallie, and thank you so much, Hallie. One way to keep somebody in line is to match their fucking energy. That's real talk. Match their fucking energy. I guarantee they stay in line. Because they don't like when the energy is matched. Sometimes you stop talking and you match energy. That's where Democrats fuck up. That's where they fuck up. They don't want to match energy. Well, guess what? You're going to keep losing elections. You say Ohio passed a law to do voter roll purging. Of course. Yep. Check your voter registration frequently, folks. Again, ain't it funny how conservatives always talk about liberty and freedom and not letting the government don't tread on me. Fast forward to now, they like, well, let me lick that boot first. They don't care. See, that don't tread on me shit was all an act because they never meant any of it. Because when government treading on folks, the patriots are the most quiet. The patriots are the most quiet of the bunch. Is what I've been telling y'all the whole time. They're not patriotic. It's mess. It's bull jive. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's just mess. Because those people never listen, what I can appreciate about Trump, and it ain't too many things, is that people have nowhere to hide. Remember the people, oh no, it's not racism. We just want people to come here legally. Oh no, it's not racism. We just want to make sure only American citizens are voting. Oh no, it's not racism. The intern posted that video, and then the president comes right out afterwards and makes very clear, like, the intern is posting on the president's social media at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay. All right. That's why I go when people want to say support voter ID. So support more people being disenfranchised from voting. Right? Oh no, patriots are never going to serve, Nikki. See, that's the other thing. Patriots don't serve either. Why? Because they just run their mouths. And the ones who do serve, once they get out, then they pop in real shit. They're so anti-socialism, anti this and anti that while they were in a fucking socialist job. They were in a socialist job. And yes, rest in peace to Jesse Jackson. He made a lot of sacrifices. Now I'm gonna look. I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say some things that people may not agree with. While I do like Jesse Jackson, Jesse was messy. Like a lot of black folks, especially old school black folks when Obama came along. Tavis Smiley, if you're listening. When Obama came along, a lot of people showed their colors. That jealousy and that ego is a powerful thing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people were like, how come not me? You say, unfortunately, it will hurt other side because, yeah, I agree with you. It's going to hurt a lot of Republicans, this voter registration thing. A lot. But I remember Obama came along and at first everybody played nice. But then when they realized that that Negro had a shot, oh, jealousy and ego exposed a lot of shit about a lot of people. Yeah, Kentucky and the Appalachians are going to hurt a lot. But again, J.D. Vance don't give a fuck about the people in Appalachia. He only trots them out or even mentions Appalachia when he's trying to pretend that he still identifies with those people. When J.D. Vance left Appalachia, he made sure he was never going to come back. And he made sure that it's almost like you don't even know he's from there. That's what he wanted. He just wanted to be able to use the people of Appalachia when it's convenient for him. And the people of Appalachia need to wake up. J.D. Vance and the Republican Party uses y'all. They don't care about you at all. Wake up. Wake up. Real talk. I mentioned that yesterday, how DHS, right? DHS wants social media apps like Google, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, all these places to give them give the government names, addresses, and identifying information of people on the internet who say bad things about ICE. So now you ain't even got a right to free speech. And again, I look at conservatives and I go, why you kiki and caw and be like, oh, this so funny. We owning the libs. It's all funny until it happens to you. It's all funny until it happens to you. Then you won't be laughing. You got ICE salt. Look. Hold up. ICE got a teacher in Atlanta? Come on, man. Come on, man. I told y'all the government is earmarked $380 million to buy more detention centers or warehouses that they convert into detention centers. But they told you it was no money for health care. That's what they told you. They told you that it was no money for health care. USDA, yeah, Jesse was swinging it like Trump, except Jesse actually had something to swing. According to Stormy Daniels, Trump didn't have nothing to swing. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Anthony. I'm sending you condolences. I know the feeling, brother. It says, so you said somebody's not a moderate. They like poll taxes. Somebody in here said they liked it. That's probably, oh, you're a pro voter ID. Then you're not a moderate, beloved. You're not a moderate. You only got 163 followers. You probably can't even vote. You probably are a felon. That's the real tea. Most of the people who saying they support voter ID, they can't even vote. They either can't vote because they're a felon or they're not even American. See, Nick is a felon. So why would we listen to a felon about voting? That's like listening to Donald Trump about how to keep a successful marriage going. See, Nikki got 72 counts, and I'm sure one of those counts, or at least 10 of them, is having a big bag. Catch that part. Winning. Okay, I played with my food enough. I blocked Nick Chi. I blocked him. I played with my food enough. Y'all know what I mean? I played with it enough. You know how when you catch your prey, you kick it around a little bit. I did that enough. And I told him what I knew, that it was somebody that couldn't vote. The people who love voter ID can't vote anyway. That's why I'm waiting for the older people who can't get certain IDs and certain, because there are people who exist who are like that. Like I remember when my great grandmother was still alive. My great grandmother was born a long time ago. This woman lived to almost 100 years old. Okay. And they didn't even have birth records for her. So it was a shush. It was a guess. There was Heidi over there carrying on. It was a guess on how old she actually was and when she was actually born. Right? It's quite a few people in America that still got that situation. Okay? But hey, if they want to make it harder, it's all about, again, the oligarch class being able to control what it is that you can do. Because Americans keep pretending that, you know, the rich people care about us. Want me to tell you how it was verified again, rich people don't like us and don't care about us? Okay. Now, y'all see that James Vanderbeek stuff, right? He passed away. His wife set up the GoFundMe. They got over $2 million in that fucking GoFundMe account. Regular people. So then celebrities are coming out after the fact going, what's the big deal? Like, why are people upset about it? They're tone deaf to it. They're tone deaf. They don't give a shit that you don't have health care. Stop giving rich people your money. Real talk. Stop giving rich people your money. Because if you set up a GoFundMe today, not one of those rich people are going to pop in your GoFundMe and give you $50,000. Not one. Hell, not too many regular people are going to pop in and give you $10. Real shit. The celebrity worship culture in America is a problem. It's a sickness. Americans hate their lives so much that they worship celebrities. Real shit. Because worshiping a celebrity gives them something else to focus on besides their own life. Crazy work. Why the hell? And then when I go digging online, James Vanderbeek had bought this mansion or ranch, I'm sorry, that he paid a couple $1 million for. And the family claims that stressed them financially after that. Then sell that motherfucker. What? Then sell it. The rest of us ain't sitting on a $4 or $5 million property. Real talk. Real talk. Folks need to wake up. Yeah, I heard about Jesse Jackson, that he passed. I sent condolences this morning. Oh, and they had a house in Beverly Hills? Yeah. I wish I would give something to fucking James Vanderbeek's wife. I wish I would. And what I was saying yesterday was their version of poor is not our version of poor. You understand? Rich people's poor is not our poor. Our poor is PO. P-O. You understand? It's not the same like when rich people say they don't have money. It's different. So why regular working class people decided to give those people money? Say it again. They salmon po. Just like what I had put up yesterday. I was like, yo, I saw online somebody saying that salmon is a struggle meal. And I'm sitting up there going, struggle for who? For who? I don't know nobody that when they struggling, they buy salmon. That's what, listen, y'all, I said the same thing. Since when? Since when salmon is a struggle meal? The fuck? What? Not canned mackerel. Salmon. Child, that's people with money playing in our fucking face. Salmon in a can. They didn't say in a can. They ain't say deli either. Because I was looking like, no, ramen is struggle food. Not salmon. Right, pork and beans and hot dogs, that's a struggle meal. Quiet as kept, one of the tastiest struggle meals there are. Yep, Spam is a struggle meal. Well, it used to be. Spam costs too much now to be a struggle meal. At one time it was, though. At one time, to me, Spam was a struggle meal. It wasn't nothing to have some fried Spam with an egg. Man, I love some pork and beans too. I grew up on pork and beans. I remember coming home from school and opening up a can of pork and beans and cutting up a hot dog and putting it in there for my after school snack. What? I remember that shit. Man, you said sugar with cinnamon toast is still, yep, still good. Look, I'm going to tell you another one. Ain't nothing like a slice of white bread with some butter on it and a slice of fucking cheese. Quiet as kept, I'm looking for a government cheese hookup. For real, for real. If you want me to keep it all the way a buck. If anybody out there knows somebody that got that government cheese on the rotation, You need to talk to a sister. You need to talk to a sister. Because I grew up on government cheese. And I don't care what nobody say. That government cheese, the best cheese on earth. Oh, yeah. I remember Wish sandwiches, Tyra. Shit, I grew up on a Wish sandwich, too. Hey, listen, I know about Hoppin' Johns. Listen, we grew up on that. And government cheese, yep, is the bomb. The best cheese on earth. And I know for a fact government still make that cheese. Real talk. But I want to know who can give us the hookup to get some of that government cheese. Real shit. Oh, they got it on Amazon. Is it government cheese or somebody saying they making the cheese like the government cheese? Because that government cheese was the best cheese on earth. That's the best cheese on earth. You see this picture? Ain't it something? The Dow is 50,000. Listen, I remember that cheese was hard to slice, but you put that, listen, let me tell you what I used to do sometime after school. I would take a slice of wheat bread, put a little butter on that bread, and take that box of government cheese out the refrigerator, peel open some of that little aluminum, wrapping stuff they had on it. Take me a knife and press down real hard to slice a piece of that government cheese. Then I put a slice of that cheese on that bread and I slide it in the oven and toast it. What? Hold on, y'all. I gotta slow my fire down back here. What? The best melted cheese sandwich ever. That's what I used to make. Hey, Dre, we tried to cut it as thin as we could, but that cheese was hard. So you could only cut it so thin. You know what I mean? What? And I would put it in the broiler. Y'all remember back in the day when you would pull that bottom drawer under the bottom, that would be where your broiler would be on those old stoves. So put it in that broiler under there, but you got to watch it real close. Because if you had a gas stove, right, which we had gas stoves then, right, that thing was fast and it was quick. So you had to watch it or it was going to burn your stuff. You understand? Don't play with me. I remember them days. See, the children don't know nothing about that. That's real struggle. But I did see somebody say that the other day, that salmon was a struggle meal. And I was like, oh, well, we're not from the same community. We're not from the same community because in my community, that's not a struggle meal. Egg noodles with butter, struggle meal. Like nothing else, just egg noodles tossed in some butter with some salt and pepper, struggle meal. But that shit was good. That shit was good. I still buy egg noodles to the day. I still buy egg noodles and fix them with different things. Hey, listen, Macau, I used to eat ketchup on bread too. I had said yesterday in that video I put out, my idea of a struggle meal was like a bowl of rice and with some seasonings that you stole from the fast food place. There were many a day I had rice for dinner. Rice with butter and some salt and fucking pepper. Plenty a day that was what the meal was. I remember growing up, we ain't never have lasagna or shit like that. Because that would have been too expensive to make. We would have spaghetti, but one big pot of spaghetti. Where if your mama made spaghetti, y'all was eating on that shit all week. Y'all was eating on that shit all week. You heard me. And ain't nothing like some cold spaghetti. Because y'all know we ain't had no microwave. So sometimes we ate it cold. Which was fine. But sometimes we made it cold. We just ate it cold. Yep. Say it again, Tyron. If your mama cooked spaghetti on Sunday, y'all was having spaghetti all fucking week. Yep. I was just about to say spaghetti sandwiches too. I fried it. I fried spaghetti in the pan. Make it like a fried spaghetti patty in the pan. Yep. Done that too. Hell, we've even turned spaghetti into soup. I add a little beef broth to that spaghetti. Yep, we've had spaghetti tacos. And look, I'm going to give you the real tea. I'm going to give you the real tea for struggle. We didn't even have taco shells. We used white bread for the shells. Catch that part. I know I'm not the only one that did that. Where you take a slice of white bread and you put some spaghetti on it and you fold that bread and that was your taco. What about no fucking taco shells? Our mamas wasn't running to the store to buy fucking taco shells. Our mamas wasn't. You say y'all would have a hobo meal with meat pot inside a foil on the. Hey, listen, you got full. Yep, white bread was garlic bread. I didn't have garlic bread until I moved out of my mama's house. Because I saw it on sale at the store and was like, oh, that's a thing. Because where I grew up, it was white bread with some butter and some garlic seasoning on it. And we had garlic bread. That shit was good. Real talk. That's what it was for us. That's what it was for us. You said white bread was the hot dog. Say it again. My mama ain't buy no hot dog buns and no hamburger buns either. We had Wonder Bread. Not food PTSD. I told you, when you grow up in poverty, you do suffer from PTSD. You just don't realize it. Man, I miss frying thick bologna. Don't play with me. A thick ass fried bologna sandwich with an egg. Let me tell you something. Those of us who grew up poor, we suffer from PTSD. You just don't realize it. That's why you got all that shit in your cabinets. That's why you got a deep freezer full of fucking food. That's why. Because you know what it's like to not have. You know what it's like. And you vowed not to go back. Now, hold up. I got to stop because I'm seeing somebody of my own heart here. Misty Blue. You must be from down south, beloved, because my family is too, and it wasn't nothing for us to slice up bananas and put them on a fucking sandwich with some mayonnaise. Duke's mayo, to be specific. Some Duke's fucking mayo. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Yeah, we did it with peanut butter sometimes too. But on a personal level, for me personally, I always loved the sliced banana sandwich with mayonnaise. I don't know why. I just did. And that shit is so damn good. I know some of y'all gonna go, yuck. I'm telling you, it's a whole fucking bop. Okay? I'm telling you. And somebody said tomato sandwich. True, but T-Mars, we got to say it right. It's a tomato sandwich. Say it again. It's a tomato sandwich. We never said tomato sandwich. We say, hey, make me one of them tomato sandwiches. Don't play with me. That's what we called it. So I had to scroll back up when I saw somebody say sliced bananas. I said, oh, wait a minute. Oh, we used to eat sliced bananas on sandwiches. Yes, beloved, sliced bananas on sandwiches. I did like the banana and peanut butter sandwich too. But I hate the way peanut butter sticks. You know, because back then that shit was sticking to the roof of your mouth, something terrible. It ain't, you know, like now they like to say smooth peanut butter. Yeah, our shit was thick. That government peanut butter was thick. It was good stuff, but that shit was thick. Okay? Oh, yeah, I used to love to eat fresh tomato sandwiches too with mayonnaise. Duke's mayo. It got to be Duke's. I just remember those days. I remember it. Listen, yep, bologna and crackers, but let's get on the potted meat and crackers, please. Because I love me some potted meat, some sardines. Hell, I had a mini sandwich with just, to your point talking about Duke's, I had a mini sandwich with just Duke's mayo on it and salt and pepper. I got full. And that's all that mattered. You got full. I'm telling y'all, that's why you still suffer from the PTSD of poverty. I've had hog heads cheese before because my family's from North Carolina. Yeah, they call it South cheese or hog head cheese. But I remember my grandmother used to get that a lot. Hey, Fred, guess what, Fred? Nobody cares, Fred. But thank you for coming through for the views with your 12 followers ass. Now I blocked you. Get your pussy up. Don't nobody care about that shit. We having real conversation. You said your mother used to make hog head cheese. Oh, wow. My mother never made it, but she would buy it. Man, don't listen. Now, who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Teal, you must be from down south too. Ain't nothing like some crackling, especially crackling cornbread. Ain't nothing like crackling cornbread. You say, did I like spicy or mild what specifically, Rhoda? Oh, I ain't had crackling in a couple decades. I used to love crackling cornbread. Oh my God. I used to love crackling cornbread. Yeah, hot water cornbread, great. I used to love creasy salad. See, Southerners know what I'm talking about when I say creasy salad. I used to love that shit. Do I put sugar in my cornbread? It depends. A little smidge, but I don't like real sweet cornbread because to me, that's cake. I ain't never put thick bologna on the grill. That sound good. I used to love some pickles pig feet, Ronald. I be chewing all in between them toes. I don't eat them no more. But back in the day, man, be chewing all in between them joints. You heard me. You heard me. What? Man, lips be white, all that vinegar be done peeled all the stuff off. Look, somebody did the throw up emoji. I'm just being honest. When I was a child, I used to crush some pickles pig feet. I ain't gonna even lie about the shit. Because I'm gonna tell you what I used to like. It's that pickling juice. You could take that pickling juice and pour it. We used to pour it in a bag of potato chips or Funyuns. Oh my God. That shit would be so good. That vinegary mixed in with the onions from the onion rings. Oh shit. Man, stop playing. I used to like the pickled eggs too. And the pickled sausages too. I remember the cold cuts with the olives in them. The smell used to take you out. Oh, I used to love that smell. Just like, I'm gonna tell you, this is the truth. Poor people created hot Cheetos. Because I remember in the hood growing up in elementary school. I'm telling you, I remember getting Funyuns all way back then and us just taking hot sauce, opening up a bag of them and just taking hot sauce and just doing like that in the bag and shaking up the bag. I remember that shit. We were doing that shit then in like the 80s. I remember that. We were already doing that stuff. But it's just that now, so now when I see that stuff in the store, I'm like, well, shit, we was doing that in the 80s. Real shit. Yep, you put the sauce in the bag. Yep, and add some cheese. Yes, we were doing that then. Yep, hot sauce on pork skins. We were doing that then. Let's keep it all the way a buck. Back in the day, if you lived in a community that had a fucking ice cream truck, ice cream trucks were the first food trucks in the hood. I can't speak for where y'all lived at, but where I lived at in the hood, our ice cream trucks sold everything and ice cream. You could get hot dogs off that ice cream truck, half smokes, fresh popcorn, cotton candy, sub sandwiches, French fries. Like, it was a food truck. It was not just ice cream. Yep, pizza. You could get Scully's. Stop playing with me. That's why when we heard the ice cream truck, we like, shit, they got everything. That's the spot. They got it all. They got the pig feet. They got the pickled eggs. They got everything. Then at some point, they started selling shirts, hats, everything. It was like a mobile fucking store. We had that a long time ago. Long time ago. I remember. That's why now, if an ice cream truck pops up in my community, I be mad. Because I go to it and I'm like, y'all ain't got shit but ice cream. Like, you got to go to the hood to get the good ice cream trucks still. You have to. You got to go to the hood still to get good ice cream trucks. Oh, I remember the medicine man. I remember the candy lady. Because you couldn't go to the candy lady during school hours because she wouldn't let your ass in. Candy lady snitch your ass out. Ain't you supposed to be at school? I remember that shit. Candy lady put you out. Ain't you supposed to be somewhere? School already started. No, baby, I ain't selling no candy till 3 o'clock. I remember that. You mean the icy lady? I remember the ices too. Yeah, I used to love the candy lady, but the candy lady, she won't sell you stuff during school hours. Neither would the icy lady either. We had all that shit. Now that I think about it, I tell this story and people, they're surprised when I say it, but I did not know that I was poor. Like I knew we didn't have certain things, but shit, everybody around me didn't have certain things. I didn't really know I was poor till like high school. Real talk, because everybody was poor. Hey, Maribel, hey, beautiful. Everybody was poor. So I didn't have an understanding of I'm poor. Everybody is here. All of us in the same fucking trenches together. Everybody. So in them hoods, we all sharing food, resources, everything. We were all in the same boat together. So I didn't even think about rich people. If I didn't see them on TV, I ain't think about them. I thought more about the people around me in my neighborhood. Quiet as kept, the people that I wanted to be like were in my neighborhood, in my local schools. Those were the people that I looked up to and that I wanted to be. I didn't want to be those people on TV. I still remember seeing, outside of my mom, I still remember seeing beautiful women, even as a child, and going, wow, they're so beautiful, and thinking they were stars because they were so beautiful. But no, they were just great people who took care of themselves. They didn't have a lot of money, but they were always clean, well put together, well kept. And you remember shit like that. Yep. And we was happy. And we were happy. And we weren't even dirty. We didn't have much, but what we did have was a washcloth, water, soap, clean clothes, food, and a place to lay our fucking head. We really were. Life was a lot more simple then, and you were a lot more happy. You say, no, y'all were dirty. See, in my house, Linda, even if we ain't had much, you weren't allowed to be dirty. It was seen as a sign of disrespect. And yeah, how I grew up, cleanliness was next to godliness. And if you refused to be clean, that meant you didn't love God. Mm-hmm. So they would go hard on us about being clean. That was a big fucking deal. That was a big deal in my house. Let you walk by my mama and that back wind smell funny. Oh, y'all were not dirty. Y'all bathed in the washtub. We did too. Hell, I still remember my great grandmother's house didn't get a bathroom in it. She didn't have a bathroom in her house. She didn't have a bathroom in her house till like the early 90s. When the city came through and put a bathroom in her house. She was old school. You're right, you guys. Cleanliness was a representation of our parents. But I just remember, I remember going outside. Listen, I didn't have to go outside to go to the bathroom, but this is what we had to do when we would visit my grandmother. Because everybody knew she didn't have no bathroom in her house. She just didn't. So my grandmother had a bucket. She had a bucket in a room and a chair over that bucket, and the chair had no seat portion on it. So that when you sit down, you're really sitting on the chair over the bucket. So, and you use that bucket, and I remember you had to put water in the bucket with some bleach. That's how she kind of kept it not smelly. And then you were required to dump that bucket, consistently. And if you did number 2, you had to dump it immediately. There was no concept of you keep it in that. No, ma'am. You better take that shit out there to the field and you better dump that shit. I remember. Oh, Dwayne, I remember bathing. Now, I didn't have to bathe in a bucket because we had the wash tub on the side of the house. So I remember when it was time to take a bath, we go to the side of the house, take the wash pail off the side of the house, bring it in the house, boil multiple container tea kettles of hot water, put it in that wash tub, and take my bath. Now, I was lucky because I got to go first. Those of us who know about not being able to go first, but having multiple people and got to share that bath water. Oh, it sucked to be second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Oh, you never wanted to be anybody other than first. Maybe second. And second was pushing it. Real talk. Second was pushing it. But you never wanted to be so far down the line. The youngins always got the worst of the worst. They got everybody else's leftover bathwater. Everybody's. Look, I caused some trauma when I reminded y'all about the shared bathwater. Everybody like, damn, I remember that shit. I hated that. Yeah, see, there was some trauma. There was a little bit of triggering that happened when I just did that. There was some triggering because folks was like, fuck, damn, I had stuffed that shit into the back walls of my consciousness. And I vowed to never, ever remember that. Fuck. I remember. Because I remember my brother being pissed off every time having to go after me. Yeah, because that water would get cold quickly. But since I was first, you're like, you're first. At most, sometimes what would happen if the water got cold for folks, I remember my grandmama would she would boil a tea kettle or 2 or more water and pour it in there to heat it up a smidge, but it wasn't really heating it up because it was so much water in there. It wasn't really heating it up. It wasn't really, say it again, those were our first hot tubs. Quiet as kept, my first jacuzzi was when I was farting in the tub. This whole concept of bubbles in the water, the way I grew up, if bubbles was in the water, there was something wrong. Somebody was carrying on if there was bubbles in the water. Okay? And you ain't never like that. You be like, don't be doing that in here. Okay? Look, Zarvis like, it's giving him PTSD. I know I'm triggering y'all. I'm triggering you. That's what it is. You're getting triggered right about now. You triggered. You was the oldest and you was last out of 7 kids. Damn, Mary. Wow. Because some households were like that. They take the young babies first. Right? Not you crashing out now. Listen, because we all remember this shit. We didn't have the luxuries that the youngins have now. That's not what we had. You said you never used a jacuzzi until last year. Listen, I got a jacuzzi tub in my home. And I've probably used that thing 5 times total. Right? Because personally, I don't like no bubbles in the bathtub. Because I ain't grow up with that shit. And when I see it, listen, how many of us had to take baths with our cousins or our brothers and sisters? Like, so you were lucky if you got to take the bath alone. You were lucky. Because when you were a little kid, you were taking a bath with multiple other kids. Like, your parents were multitasking. You wasn't getting clean bath water for every child. Y'all was holding that motherfucker together. So if you saw bubbles in that fucking water, you mad. You like, they farting in the water. I don't want to be here. I'm not comfortable here. But you ain't no choice. You said you remember a family reunion back in 76 or 77. That's what I learned what poor was. I'm going to tell you, there were only a couple times. High school, I told you, I was reading an article in People magazine, and they described the neighborhood I lived in as poor. And I was like, huh? Because people in my neighborhood own homes too. But it was called poverty. And it was like, wow, well, these impoverished people are homeowners, but okay, whatever. I'm going to tell you when else I would feel poor. I'm about to trigger y'all ass again. That motherfucking book fair. Every fucking time that book fair came about at school, I would remember we ain't had no money. I would remember that shit. Oh, that book fair is a fucking trigger. Okay? That book fair would piss me off. Because it would always expose that we don't have no money. $8, shit. I'd be lucky if I would get $8, Tyra. I'd be lucky if I got $8, okay? Lucky, say it again. Lucky if you got $5, okay? I would get enough to get an eraser or a pencil. Those are the cheapest things at them fucking book fairs. Erasers or fucking pencils. I just remember a book fair is a certified way to remind children that they live in poverty. Because it really does separate the haves from the have fucking nots. Real shit. It separates the haves from the have nots every time. Every time. Your book fair had a clearance shelf. Ours did not. Ours ain't had no clearance shelf. You had to pay full price for the shit. Yep. Oh, I loved books too, Mary. I love to read, still do. That's why I love the library, because the library was a place that I could go to get books and not have to pay for them. The library. That's when I fell in love with the library. When I realized I could go there to get books and get videos and audio tapes, like all these different things, and not pay. So you felt like you felt rich going to the library, because as long as they had it, you could check it out. Oh, I used to love Judy Blume books, but I couldn't afford to buy them. Judy Blume was expensive. She was expensive. I couldn't afford it. Yep. But I remember growing up, my mother, one of the reasons why I never felt poor is because, and I didn't know this until I became closer to adult age, my mother would make it her business to find as much free stuff as possible for us to do. We did a lot of free things. We went to museums. See, I grew up in the DMV. So we went to museums. All of our museums were free. Our National Zoo, free. Going to historic sites and landmarks, free. All that shit was free. So because it was free, you say you love buying books now because I couldn't buy them before. And I saw somebody say they have their Judy Blume book. Let me tell you, I still have a book. I have one book from my elementary school book fair. I still have it till today. And I still have that book because that was a time, I'll never forget it. My great grandmother gave me money to buy something at the fucking book fair. She gave me money. And I was able to buy one book. I remember that. Buying one, because that's all I had enough money for, was one book. And man, I still have that book till today. I still got that book because it was sentimental for me. I got to buy a book from the fucking book fair, not just go there and look around. Because you just go in there to look around if you ain't got no money. And then you watching the other kids come back to class with their stuff. Because remember, at first, they used to make the whole class go to the book fair at one time. They would send you as a class. Remember that? And so y'all all go in as a class. And you walking around, but you ain't got no money. So you just walking around and you scoping out the spot. You looking at how much different things cost. And you trying to devise a plan for when you go back home. You can beg somebody to at least give you $1 or 50 cents or a quarter or something. So you can go back, and even if it's just one thing. I remember that. You went to a free book fair in Brooklyn last week. Man, we never had free book fairs. Well, you were free to go. Just all the shit costs money. So when I had kids and they would have the book fair at school for my kids, I used to take that shit so personal. You know, like fuck that shit, man. My baby's gonna buy books because I know what it's like to not be able to buy books. And it's also why I would donate. I would talk to the teachers in their classes and say, listen, you got a kid here who loves to read but can't ever afford anything for the book fair. I want to buy them a couple books. Because again, I know how it was to be that kid. And being that kid was hard to do. It was hard to be that kid. It was hard to be that kid. When you're the kid they gotta do without. It's hard while you're watching all the other children get something. So I always tried to make it my business to help out those children. Because it's hard being children are mean. Children can be hardcore. They can be hardcore. No, Lilac, we started at about 10. Children can be real hardcore. So I remembered some of those things. And you always remember when you felt inadequate. You always remember that. That's something you always remember. Hey, Dre Day, you just triggered a memory for me. You said you couldn't afford books, so you read the dictionary. Listen, I remember when my brother and I used to stay in the house and read the fucking encyclopedia. I remember. We used to read that shit for fun. We literally used to read it for fun. No problem, Lilac. Yeah, I just got on here later this morning. But we used to read the encyclopedia for fun. See, other people are like, my parents read encyclopedias too. We did. I grew up on that. You still have your childhood encyclopedias? Wow. Yeah, I don't. I remember when my mama bought them, they were Funk and Wagnalls. That's who the company was. They were by this company called Funk and Wagnalls. And I only remember because me and my brother used to laugh at the name of the company because we used to get to say the name Funk. You know, because when we were growing up as kids, there's certain things you couldn't say, right? You weren't allowed to say lie, funk, you know, certain things you couldn't do. Sorry, you guys. I had to block somebody who claimed they were going to bless the first 5 people that say hello with 5,000. No, you're not. Yeah, we read for fun. And now that I think about it, think about this, y'all. You know why we read for fun? We were poor. We were poor. So reading allowed us to escape into all these other places inside the book that we otherwise would never be able to escape to because we didn't have the money or the resources to do it. But reading allowed you to travel the world. Think about it. I remember being told as a child, you want to go to China? Read about it. Because the idea that you would ever get to go to such a far off place seems so foreign to us. And you're right. That is why our imaginations are so vast and so great, because your parents didn't always have the money to fulfill a desire that you had. So many times you had to use your imagination. I remember as a kid, now that I think about it, this triggered a memory for me. I remember as a kid, sorry, I had to hang up on somebody. Somebody was calling me. I remember as a kid, pretending that I owned a nail salon. This was before nail salons even had existed in America. And I remember I would take milk gallon jugs. Y'all know the plastic milk gallon jugs? And I would clean them out. This was in elementary school. I remember doing this shit. And I would clean out the milk jug. And then I would cut. That works, Bomb. That works. That works, girl. I see you. 3 o'clock. Yeah, that works. Sorry, you guys. I'm talking to my daughter. That works. Okay. But I remember taking that milk jug, I clean it out, and then I would cut little fake fingernails. No bullshit. I would cut little fake fingernails out of the plastic milk carton, and then I would take Elmer's glue and I would put it on my fingernail and I would hold it down, and then I would take a piece of tape and wrap it around, and I would have little fingernails. I remember that shit. You remember, listen, Dre, you triggering me. I remember collecting cans for money. You never thought of that? I did, Ida, because I wanted to play Little Nail Shop. Y'all did it with a clear straw. See, you had to be resourceful. Yeah, our parents were not going to go run. Things like that didn't even exist to run out to play with. So I would just make shit up. I know I'm not the only kid. I'm not the only kid that would take, look, I was ahead of my time, right? I know I'm not the only kid. I would take glue. Y'all used to do this too, so I'm about to trigger a memory, right? I would take glue, Elmer's glue, and put it all over my hand as a thin layer. And you wait, you let your hand dry. And then you would slowly peel that glue off your hand. I remember doing that shit. That was called a good ass day. Yeah, that was a good ass day, man. That thing was so good and so fun to do. I remember doing that consistently. It was fun. I remember those big fat ass erasers that they would have in school. And I used to love not those red ones, but they had these kind of like yellowish, clearish ones. They were a lot thicker. And what I remembered about them is when you would erase, to me, they would smell like Cheetos. They would smell like cheese. So I used to love to just sit there and just do like that and then smell the eraser because it would smell like cheese. Yep, glue peeling was a stress reliever. It was a stress reliever. It really was. I remember doing that shit with glue. Sometimes, especially if you got bored in class. Look, we saying it at the same time, Nia. I was just about to say, if you were bored in class, you're going to put some of that glue on your hand and you're going to thin that thing out and let it dry. And you're going to peel that glue while you in class off your hand because you're bored. You might not like something that's being done. Oh, I remember taking home economics too, user 229. I took that in middle school. I remember we had home ec in middle school. I remember that shit. Scorp, we had a great childhood. We did. Ooh, y'all heard my stomach. Carrying on. I never got to take shop class. I so wish I did take wood shop, but I didn't get to take wood shop, but I did take home economics. Do y'all remember taking life skills class? Do you remember life skills? Where they taught you how to write a check, how to balance your checkbook, how to do a job interview. Y'all remember that shit? We had that in school. That was a whole fucking class for a whole semester. Yep, I remember personal business management class. This was in regular school, not college, not none of that shit. Oh, I remember that egg baby stuff. I remember doing life skills class. I remember that. And then over time, they got rid of it. Yep. How to write a business letter. I remember we learned how to write a memo. Remember? We learned how to write a memo, how to write a business letter. My school didn't have driver's ed because I grew up in the city. So most people was taking the bus. So we didn't have driver's ed classes offered at the school. And even if we did, my family couldn't afford to buy me no car. So it wasn't like I was driving nowhere, no way. I didn't get my license till I was like 22. You said you didn't take that one written checks. Obviously, obviously didn't take it. Yeah, we did that. I remember the life skills class. Well, we learned that's where I learned how to balance a checkbook in high school in life skills class. That's why I learned it in that class. Yep. Cooking class. Our cooking class was our home economics class. We cooked in that class because that class had stoves. When we talk about it, I still remember what our home ec classroom looked like in middle school. I still remember what that class looked like. It had a washer and dryer in there. We had an ironing board to iron stuff. We had a sewing machine for sewing. And we were expected, and they had us doing a little cooking in there. I remember. Because I think we made curtains or something in there. I don't remember everything, but I distinctly remember taking that class. I remember. Yep. Teachers took pride. But you know why teachers took pride? Because back then, folks weren't sitting around trying to attack teachers in the teachers union. You know what I mean? And back then, we also didn't have to worry about somebody showing up at the school, pew-pew in the school. I grew up in the hood, and ain't nobody never come to my school and do nothing. Nothing. Never. That was a non-fucking issue. But that never happened in my schools. Hey, sunshine. And quiet is kept. It still don't happen in black schools. I'm telling you, you can come in school, in black schools, if you want to. With something and thinking you're gonna light up the school. Oh, we gonna jump you. You gonna get jumped. Yep. You gonna get jumped by everybody in that building. We gonna stump a mud hole in your ass in that building. But you ain't gonna be able to do what it is that you trying to do. I guarantee it. You say you were a minority in your school and we never worried. Nope. We never worried about it. But that's the thing with black schools. Black schools never worry about somebody coming in with a weapon. Not to do that. Now, there were other types of things people might bring in, but not what you see these days. Oh, no. Mm-mm. And quiet is kept. Our school resource officer was an old lady. And we still ain't test that old lady. Nah, that's what I say. Things are different now. But when we was growing up, our person was an old lady. Hey, Tamara, good morning, beautiful. And quiet as kept, we didn't even get metal detectors. We had one metal detector for the front door if you came in the front door, but there were multiple entrances into the school. But we didn't get that to my senior year. Nobody was bringing that stuff. Oh, I remember senior skip day. I remember that. We did that. But quiet is kept. See, I went to an art school in high school. I went to an art school. And so we went to school from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We went in the mornings. We had all of our regular academic classes up until I think about noon. And then for the rest of the day, there were all of our art discipline classes. Yeah, I went to an art school. Yeah, that's why. We didn't have to wear uniforms. We got to wear whatever we wanted, Anna. We got lucky. Do you remember they let us? Oh, I remember that they let us do that, Nina. That was different back then. You could do that back then. Now they don't let the children do that. But back then we were. I remember that. Oh, wow. Dude, I just remember. I remember things were I remember taking typing class. I remember things were just different. Y'all still remember? Okay, I'm gonna ask y'all a question. I'm gonna see how old some of y'all are. Do y'all remember? And look, I'm gonna take this picture off the screen because we don't need that. We're not using that right now. Question: do y'all remember when the space shuttle blew up? Oh, your sisters went to Ellington in DC. I went to Ellington too. When did they graduate? I am a DESA alumni. What they say. I love my alma mater. I love me some Duke Ellington. Still love my school. Okay, y'all remember. Y'all remember when that shit happened. I was trumped as a kid. I just remember the teachers went on and on and on being so excited about the spaceship being launched, and there's a teacher on it, Chrissy McCullough. I never forget her name. And we're all watching, and the teacher rolls out the resource cart, because that's what it was called, right? The resource cart, right? Yeah, we all watched it live. They traumatized millions of American children showing it to us live, right? So they wheel out the cart and they do all that stuff, and then they turn on the TV, and all of us are sitting there at our desk, and we're watching with our little fingers folded, and we're looking, and then I just remember it blowing up, and I remember not even understanding what that meant. But I also remember my teacher just turned off the TV, moved the cart and put it back in the resource closet, and ain't say nothing. Ain't say nothing. They didn't even explain to us what the fuck we even saw. And I think it was because the teachers weren't even sure. The teachers were shocked. So they didn't even know. And I just remember going home from school confused, like, did they go to space? Oh, y'all kept watching. Our teacher turned it off. She turned it off. Oh, it was dark as hell, see, Mandy. I am telling you, listen, those of us who grew up in the 70s and the 80s, that's why y'all see us act the way we do about things, where we're just kind of like, because that's our whole childhood. Our entire childhood is traumatic events happening and people being like, no bullshit. Our entire childhood is that shit. Something traumatic happens. Nobody explains nothing. Everybody just act like it didn't happen. And that's how we grew up. It just was just like, know what the fuck? That's how we are. See, look, see, Tanya said, my grandmother died and my aunt's at 17. Nobody said nothing. See? I remember. It was traumatic. That time was just different. Those of us in that Gen X time frame, we are different. We were kids. We were latchkey kids. Think about it. We were latchkey kids. Your parents sent you to school with your house key around your neck. And then told you, you better not lose my key. Okay? We came home alone. All right? Where we were not supposed to answer the door. We can't answer the phone. We just got to come in the house, lock the door, and stay there till your parents get home. We grew up different. That's why I say we're a different breed. And that's why we kind of look at the children of today or people that came after us like, y'all soft. Because we didn't have an option to be soft. Yep, and we did fear our parents. That was the other thing. Our parents didn't have to be around for us to fear them. Our parents did not have to be around for us to fear them. We feared them by proxy. Why? Because we got consequences. There were consequences to doing shit. You could do something if you wanted to. There were going to be consequences to be paid. And if you didn't want to pay them, you better act right. Hey, listen, I saw y'all say neighbors. That's why if you hook school, you better not stay in your neighborhood. If you hook school, you better not stay in that neighborhood. Because if you stay in that neighborhood and somebody in that neighborhood see you, they snitching you out. You getting snitched out. And if they catch you, they gonna make you stay in their house all day till your parents come home. And they gonna take your ass home to your parents and say, hey, you know, I saw Cindy. She was still out here at 11 o'clock. She was supposed to be in school. So I made her ass come sit at my house all fucking day till you got home because I wanted to talk to you and let you know that she did not go to school today. Shit. I remember if me and my friends was going to hook school, we'd be like, okay, so where we going to go? Because you had to have a place to go to hook school. Couldn't stay home. Because the whole neighborhood like this. Couldn't do that. You'd take your ass to school or take your ass to a friend's house who didn't, that they didn't give a shit. They just was like, they was on whatever over there. You say you tell your 9-year-old about your childhood and he looks at me like, yeah, a lot of young people look at us like that. Like, dang, y'all had it rough. I mean, you could say that. I did, but it taught me to be resilient. I can tell you that. Because of the way that I grew up, we had to learn to be problem solvers. Nobody was going to come solve your problems for you. Not even your parents. You just had to sit and figure that shit out. Like, well, what am I going to do now that didn't work out? You got to pivot and come up with something else. Because no, your parents didn't come to save you. I remember, listen, let me tell you something. I don't know if I was the only person this happened to. I remember one time this girl tried to fight me. And I didn't want to fight her. So I came in the house and I was crying and I was like, Mommy, this girl outside, she want to fight me and I don't want to fight her. My mother was like, what? If you don't get your ass back outside and handle her ass, I'm going to handle you. And let me tell you something. I was more afraid of my mama than I was anybody out in the fucking street. So I took my ass back outside. Fuck that shit. Bitch, we about to fight. We about to fight. And I'm going to go ham on her. Why? Because my mama watching. Because if my mama see me go out there to fight and I don't handle shit, she going to handle me when I get back in that house. Because my mother would say, quick, I don't raise no suckers. I don't raise no suckers, but she also ain't raised no bullies. Like, you weren't allowed to bully people, but you were allowed to defend yourself, to defend yourself. And if my mother found out that you was trying to be a sucker and not defend yourself, well, you about to have a problem on your hands. You about to have a problem on your hands, because my mama gonna say, quick, oh no, get your ass back out there. And I remember going out, I don't want to go out there. I don't want to fight her. And my mom was like, well, you fight her or I'm gonna whoop your ass. Now, which one you want? Well, I guess I'm going to fight her. I don't want a spanking. So you went outside and you fought. Some could say it's cruel. Some could say, you could say all those things. But it taught you to be a fucking advocate for yourself. And quiet as kept. We didn't always have to fight each other. We did that thing called joning. Y'all know, or the dozens. You had to be really good with your words. You had to be really good with your words. Because if you were really good at really good wordsmith, shit, you honestly didn't fight that much. You really didn't. Because you had people laughing. And the laughter kept the fights at bay. Real shit. Yeah, and we had thicker skin. It wasn't nothing for somebody to talk about your mama. Nothing. People love to talk about your mama. That was the default thing, to talk about your mama. And if you fought somebody every time somebody talked about your mama, you'll be fighting every fucking day, all fucking day. That's how come we learned it ain't what they call you, it's what you answer to. And that you don't have to always respond to everything. Real shit. You don't have to respond to everything. Man, listen, I remember people saying shit like, your mama is so bald-headed, when she open up the refrigerator, your mama's so bald-headed, when she go outside, the wind change her thoughts. Your mama's so bald-headed, when she roll her hair up with rice. I remember, honey, you had to have the jokes ready. Your mama got a mouth on the back of her neck and she laughed like this. I remember that shit. Oh my goodness. Listen. Your mama, don't start with me. Your mama got a wooden leg with a kickstand. That was a favorite one. Your mama breath stank so bad it smelled like a little man with a shit stick is in her mouth beating on her teeth. Listen, don't play with me. Don't play with me. Your house is so small, you could drop annihilator paper in there and y'all think y'all got wall-to-wall carpet. Stop playing with me. Listen. Listen. I don't know where y'all grew up at, but where I grew up at, oh, you better come with the dozens. Not your mama walked in Walgreens and said your walls ain't green. Listen. Yep, DC all day. You got to know how to Joan. Because if you don't, your ass gonna get got. Your mama is so old. When God said, let there be light, she was there to turn on the switch. I said what I said. Y'all are so poor. When y'all mama said y'all was having spaghetti and meatballs, you looked in the pot, it was shoestrings and rocks. Stop playing with me. That's what we was doing. That's what we was doing. Oh, we was joning. Because again, either you learn how to joan or you gonna get got. Either you learn how to joan or you going to get got. You say diabolical, listen, say what you want, but you had that thick skin. You had that thick skin. Oh, we wasn't playing. And I don't even remember like everything. Oh yeah, I remember your mama so bald-headed when she opened up the refrigerator, she catch a head cold. Listen. That's why still till today, I don't have no problem trading dozens with folks because I was conditioned to do the shit since fucking elementary school. Since elementary school. Imagine going to elementary school with a whole bunch of mini Richard Pryors and shit. Like, yo, you got to be on it. And ain't nobody give a fuck about you crying. They would joan your ass out. You could cry if you want to. They don't care. They gonna keep on talking about your ass because you crying. Like, don't nobody care. Yeah, you had to learn. Yep, roasting and reading was an event. Yep, it was an event. That's it, and that's how it was. That's why we're so, and I'm gonna tell you something. That's also why Gen X people watch. Because I know a lot of y'all people watch. That's why we be looking at people. Because we were taught through the joning, you do assessments, you take inventory. Even if you don't say nothing on that person that day, you would take an inventory because you like, all right. Next time that motherfucker got something to say, I got something for his ass. I'm gonna light his ass up. That's what we did. We would light your ass up, something terrible. Real talk. Not saying that sometimes a joning event might not end in a fight, but most times, no. If somebody got the best of your ass during joning, they would just say, hey, you just got to accept, you got on that one. You just got to accept it. You can't joan. You got to accept it. Yep, you too, Anthony. I still got that mental notebook. You say your aunt people watches. Oh, yeah. We people watch. Look, we Gen Xers, we people watch. And if you sit next to us, you get the commentary. You get the commentary because we people watch and talk shit. We really do. We be like, girl. Look at his feet, girl. It look like he been making cookies. He been mixing bread. He been kneading bread with his feet. Look. That's why we do that shit. That's why we do it. Because we can't help it. We cannot help it. As much as we try not to crack the jokes and be funny and play the dozens is in our spirit. We can't help it. That's why when I go to certain places or certain events, I already know who I'm sitting next to. Because I already know I'm going to get commentary. And the commentary is what I fucking live for. Okay? The commentary is what I live for. So when I go someplace, like an event or something, I'm looking, I'm like, okay, who up? I'm sitting right over there. Because me and her about to talk mad shit. Everybody that come through this door, we roasting. And we talking mad shit. So from now on, when y'all go into a room and them two aunties, y'all see always over there, they talking shit. They over there talking about everybody in that fucking room. And don't you dare try to get all up in the business. Because they'll talk about your ass too. But they'll say it out loud to you. You say, even when my grandma Biggie was a surgical with her. Yep, my grandmother was too. My grandmother was too. Because some of the shit my grandmother would say, I'd be like, I don't even know what the fuck that means. I don't know if I should be offended because I don't even know what it means. My grandmother would say shit to me like if I try to run game on her, she'd be like, a dog shit fast, but it don't shit long. What? Huh? Chill. Grandma would say some shit and I'd be like, I don't even know what that means. So I'm not even offended because I don't even know what you're talking about. I still don't know what that means. I still don't know what that means. But grandma used to love to say that shit anytime she felt like, you know, somebody was trying to run game. She's like, a dog shit fast, but it don't shit long. Oh, okay. All right. And the most famous one that I love from grandma, when she say, grass might be greener on the other side, but you still got to water that shit. Listen. Because people be forgetting about that part. Say, my grandma used to say, your mama ain't learned you nothing. Yep. They ain't worth the shit stuff. Yep. So Gen Xers, we are built a hell of a lot different, I would say, than most. Because we grew up during a time, nobody really, more than anything, people were more focused on not making us emotional. Rather, we were raised to be more practical and strategic. And quiet as kept, you were reprimanded if you got in your feelings too much. How many of us have heard, what you crying for? Bitch, you just spanked me. Come on, we were raised, they spank you, but you're not supposed to cry. Because if you did, what would they say? If you keep crying, I'm going to give you something to cry about. Yep, fix your face. All that shit. That's why we're kind of like, that's why we have poker faces. Because we had to. That shit was survival. Poker face was survival. My mom used to love that. I give you something to cry about. I'm thinking in my mind, bitch, I'm already crying. Like, the fuck? You just lay it, the smack it down, and then you tell me not to cry. Like, who the fuck is you raising, soldiers? Yeah. That's why when Master P came out, I already knew I was a no-limit soldier. I didn't need him to tell me shit. I ain't need him to tell me nothing. Shit. Nothing. Okay? Nothing. We were built different on purpose. Yeah, it was psychological warfare. You could say that. You could say that. Yeah, you could say that. I still remember my mama telling me not to try to ever pull nothing on her. And I'll never forget, she said, don't you ever try to pull nothing on me. I am better than you on my worst day. That shit stuck with me for decades. You understand? Because I was like, yo, she said she better than me on her worst day. I believe it. I believed it because it was true. Every game and my mom always used to say, every game you trying to run, I already ran them games. And I did it better. You suck at it. Stop it. My mother didn't give a shit. My mom would say, quick, just stop it. You suck at it. I could never lie to my mother. She was a human lie detector. I could never lie to that woman. Even when I became an adult, I couldn't lie to her. So if I didn't want to tell her something, I just didn't talk to her. Because my mama, she would ask you a question and she go like this. So, you take that money? That look, that constant look, I don't know what it was, but that shit would have me like, yeah, it was me. I couldn't hold it. I couldn't. No, a lot of times she didn't know the answer, Score. That's the thing. She just knew how to crack us. Or crack me, rather. Because my brother was uncrackable. That motherfucker was always like, listen, he would tell me, all right, she gonna have to catch me. I'm not copping to shit. And he was my little brother. I was the oldest. My little brother was like, I'm not copping to shit. She gonna have to catch me. He was the child that tried her all the time. Because his thing was, he was denying long before anybody else. My brother was very good about deny. He didn't give a shit. He knew the game. I just tried to do the right thing. Yep, I would always snitch on myself. I wouldn't even snitch on my brother because I didn't need to. But for me, I just would, my mama, I just was always like, yo, she crazy. She crazy. I'm not testing crazy. Because see, those of us who are Gen Xers, we grew up with parents who would jive crazy. They ain't have no problem handling your ass. You say my brother needs to work for Trump. He do, because he can lie like them people and look you straight in the face like, and what? What you gonna do? Yeah, you know I'm lying, but what the fuck you gonna do? Nothing. That's what you gonna do. You gonna go over there and do something. Because I'm not going away from my story. That's why I think still to today why I don't like to lie. Because the way my mother acted like lying was so disrespectful. Because it was psychological warfare, see. So to her, lying was the ultimate form of disrespect. Don't you lie to me. You can lie to anybody else, but don't you lie to me. Yeah, I guess it was seen as it's a sin, but that ain't why my mama was acting like that. That shit was control. Like, don't you fucking lie to me. You can lie to them motherfuckers in the street. You don't lie to me. Real talk. That was her mindset. So while she looking at me like this, I'm like this. I don't even want to look at her in the eyes. Because looking at her in the eyes, I already know it's countdown to me snitching myself out. It's going to happen. I already know it's going to happen. And my brother sitting over in the corner like, wouldn't been me. I would have told her shit. oh, that stomach of mine. Wait a minute. But I remember that. Yep, I just felt her looking at me. And I remember, right? I couldn't even lie to my mama on the phone. It's like she could hear the lie. She could hear it. She could see it, but she could hear it. I could never lie to that woman. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So I would just not tell her. It's easier not to tell her than it is not to avoid trying to lie, because I can't lie to her. I just never could. And it would always frustrate me. Like, damn, why can't I lie to my mama like regular, normal people? Because I was trained. I was trained and coached that lying was bad. While I watched my mama tell lies. But then what did she say? Do as I say, not as I do. Right? That's what they used to say to us. Do as I say, not as I do. And then you like, now wait a whole fucking minute, man. Wait a whole fucking minute. So you get to do all this raggedy shit, but I can't do none of it. Yeah. That's how it was for us. We watch people do certain things, but we don't participate in them things. Oh, I remember writing 100 times. Listen, I'm going to tell you a story, Alan. My middle school was hardcore about you had to be on time. Y'all remember that movie Lean on Me, right? With the whole Joe Clark thing. Well, my principal was kind of like that in middle school. He ain't play that shit. He ain't play cutting up in school. He ain't play tardiness. None of that bullshit. So I remember that, I'm sorry, I heard Heidi snore for a second. I remember if you were late, you couldn't go to class. You had to wait till that period was over, that you had to wait for that period to be over and for them to be switching classes for them to then let you go to a class. So if you came to school tardy, you had to go to this room that had a teacher in there, and they would give you these long pieces. It was a long piece of paper that almost looked like, I don't know, the Declaration of Independence. And it had front and back, and all the font was real, real tiny and small. And they would have us do this thing called write copies. So the whole time you're in there, you have to rewrite that sheet by hand using your own notebook paper, mind you, right? For that entire period while you're waiting for the next period to change so that you can then go to class. They didn't play that shit. So you can come in tardy if you want to, but you're going to go to that room and have to write them fucking copies. And if you didn't want to have to write copies, your ass was going to be on time. You said you had to write them on a chalkboard. You said you stayed in detention. Listen, I didn't, because I ain't like to write copies. It wasn't in suspension if you were late. If you were late, it was tardy hall. That's why you were there. You were in tardy hall. And then you didn't get to go to the next class until the periods change, and then you can go to your class. But I bet your ass won't be late no more. You ain't gonna be late no more because you don't want to write them fucking copies. That's what it was for us. We didn't want to write copies. I didn't like suspensions because being in school suspension, you had to write copies. And even if you were in out of school suspension, you had to write copies. Man, fuck that shit. Nope. That's why a whole lot of Gen Xers have great penmanship. They wrote a lot of copies. And that is why a lot of Gen Xers have great penmanship. Because they had to write fucking copies. And hold up, I'm going to be honest. We had to write copies, and we also used to forge a lot of notes for ourselves and for friends. I know I ain't the only one. I became really good at doing signatures. So if I needed a note for school, I worked a lot. I spent a lot of time on my mommy's signature. Okay. I spent a lot of time perfecting this girl's signature. So if I needed a note a couple of times, I had a note. I just couldn't let my mama find out. Because if my mama found out that I was forging notes in her name, honey, I was going to catch that business. Okay? Oh, your bus driver snitched you out. See, back then, everybody would snitch us out. Back then, see, you know how they say now snitches get stitches? Not when I was growing up. Motherfuckers snitch on you and look you right in the face while they snitching. It was her. Yep, her right there. She did it. I saw her. She went around there and she picked that thing up and she knocked it over. And then she looked around to see who was looking. And she saw me looking, but she kept doing it anyway. They didn't give a fuck. What? That's why now when people talk about snitches get stitches, I'm like, shit, not when I was growing up. Not when I was growing up. When I was growing up, if you didn't snitch, you got a spanking. How many times were you told, listen, if they doing stuff they ain't supposed to do and you don't stop them, you gonna catch the same fate that they had. And if they did something and you don't tell nobody, when we find out, you gonna catch the same fate that they caught. That's why we was always trying to discipline each other and keep each other in check. No, we not supposed to do that. Why? Because if your adults found out that you participated in something you weren't supposed to, or they love to say, why you let them do that? I didn't let them do shit. I told them no, but they did it anyway. Then y'all all caught the business. Yep, you're not told to, you were not allowed to lie, or as they say, tell stories, because we couldn't even say the word lie. Child. Now I think about it, I'm like, child. Had to be in bed by 9 o'clock with the TV off. The fuck? And we had a TV in our bedroom and still had to have that motherfucker off. Yep, that was always a lie, Anthony. And I always fell for it. Tell the truth. You won't get in trouble. That shit was always a lie. I fell for it every fucking time. Tell the truth. I ain't gonna do nothing. Tell the truth and get your own ass whooping. And then you be sitting there mad as hell. I should have never told the truth. But then if you don't tell the truth and they find out later, you gonna still catch the work. So you like, fuck it. I'd rather just get it now than later. Because if they catch you, that's your ass, Mr. Postman. I just remember all of these things. I remember. Now listen, y'all. I want to ask y'all something. Listen, we're not going to do uncensored Patreon this morning, but I am going to do one tomorrow because I got to finish recording the podcast. I want to ask y'all a question real quick as our last topic this morning. I got to ask y'all this, okay? Hold on. I'm going to put it up because I want to show y'all something, okay? I'm trying to find the thing. Oh, I might have deleted it. Okay. This is the question I want to ask. I want to ask y'all. On your job, right? Do y'all earn sick leave on your job? I want to ask that question. Do you earn sick leave at work? I want to know. So Scorpio says you do. Oh, Aquarius, you don't. Okay, Tanya, you said you did. No, really? So there are a lot of people who do not earn paid time off. So for those of you who don't earn any sick leave, do you at least earn PTO? Someone says, no, just PTO. Only PTO. Really? Really? So what do you guys do when you're sick? Do you use PTO or do you have to take leave without pay? Because I'm just wondering. Snap, Kiara says, I go to work. But what happens if you're so sick and you can't? So you say take PTO. Really? Wow. Yeah, I was in the federal government too, and I earned sick and PTO leave. Really? Okay. So, this is my other question then. How much PTO do you earn? Like, do you feel like you earn enough PTO? Where that if you have to take off sick time, that you don't feel like you're losing out on vacation time? Oh, that's a nice amount of time to get 40 days. They take some of your PTO and split it with leave without pay. Huh? Okay, you get 33 days. Okay, your last job did up to 80 hours. That's it. 4 hours every 2 weeks. So no, you have no PTO. Really? Let's say about 3 weeks off. Okay, depends on how long you've worked there. You got 56 out. Because I remember when I left government, well, I didn't leave. When government pushed me out, I had over 300 hours of annual leave. Had almost 300 hours of sick leave. Literally. So I'm going, wow. Oh my God. Okay, let me ask y'all this. Do you think that you should be given sick leave? Do you think that employees, right, should be able to earn sick leave? Because see, I do. People get sick. It's a fact of life. Their kids get sick. Their loved ones get sick. And I don't think people should have to choose between paying a bill and being sick. And quiet is kept. People not having sick leave is one of the reasons why sickness moves around the way that it does, in my humble opinion. And you're right, Peter. To me, if a job ain't offering leave, it ain't a good job. Or you're going to have to be offering me a shitload of money to forego leave. I remember I worked for a company one time. They gave you all your sick and your annual leave on the very first day of work. So you just had to ration it. You just had to manage your leave for the entire year. But you got all of it on the very first day of work. And can I be honest? I hated that. I ain't like it. Because, see, I'm going to tell you how I'm built. I'm one of them people where I will look at my fucking leave balance, be like, how much leave I got? Oh, shit. Bitch got 8 hours. Look like I got a sick day coming. I'm just going to take that shit. Because to me, a sick day don't mean I'm sick. It just means I may not be well enough to perform. And that could be because maybe mentally I just don't feel like thinking today. One sick day a month. No, that's not okay. That's not, to me, that ain't enough. Folks should be earning at least 2 sick days a month. At least. 6 personal. Oh no, honey. I was famous for that shit. Before I got into government, I get that fucking pay stub. Now look, I'm like, oh shit, bitch. You got 12 fucking hours of annual. Now annual I would hang on to a little bit more, but I'd be like, oh, you got 12 hours of sick. Bitch, you about to get sick next week. That's how I would do. I'm going to tell you why. Because companies, when they fire you, they don't pay you out on that sick leave. They don't pay you on that shit. So I would use it. I done earned it. I'm going to use this leave. I'm having a wellness day. So I used my sick leave for a wellness day. And if somebody's, and if not my job, but like a friend of mine, well, what you doing since you taking a sick day? Watching movies. Yeah, it's a use or lose situation. So I was never, sick leave was not something I wanted to hang on to. That's nice, Nessa, to have 200 hours. New Mexico government gives 4 hours of sick leave every 2 weeks. Do you get, am I assuming, dude, that over time, the longer you work there, the more hours you earn? Because, see, I got to the point I was earning 8 hours annual and 8 hours sick every pay period. So we're talking 16 hours of annual and 16 hours of sick leave every fucking month. I was loving that shit. You couldn't tell me Nathan. You heard me. Nathan. And I had this thing at the end of the year, every year, I would take leave the last week of December. No, the first week of January, and I'd be out for 3 weeks straight. Because I prefer to be off when everybody's at work. And when everybody's off, I'd rather be at work. Because then I'm able to get shit done that I couldn't get done when everybody was at work, being a nuisance. So I take off when they're at work. Yep. You say when you retired, you had 0 sick and like 50 hours annual. Yep, had to pay me out. Yep, that's how it was when I was out of government. I got paid for that annual and I liked it. I was like, thank you. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for that leave. Yeah, we earned our time. But that's why I just wanted to ask y'all about that this morning, because I don't know if y'all saw that video I put up, but Virginia literally just passed something this week. No, I think it may have been last week, or it could have been yesterday, where they passed. Now workers can earn paid leave in Virginia. If you work 30 hours, for every 30 hours you work, you get 1 hour of leave, which I think is bullshit. That's not enough time, but it's a place to start. It's a place to start. Me, any job that's not offering paid sick leave and annual leave, I ain't interested. You can keep it. Because I know people get sick. So I'm not about to do that. But to force people to work 30 hours to get 1 hour is insane. Yeah. Yeah, talk to your supervisor. Yeah. Forget that. And this is the other thing. When you take a sick leave, you're not required to tell people why you're taking a sick day. I don't know why people do that shit. I ain't never do that shit. I'm taking a day today. I'm not feeling well. I'll let you know if I'll be in tomorrow. Like the fuck? None of your business. It is none of the, because a sick leave doesn't mean that you're so incapacitated. Sometimes I'm sick of working that day. hence taking sick leave. I feel, or I would do this the day before. Y'all, I already know I'm gonna be sick tomorrow. And people on my team would be like, huh? Oh, I'm gonna be sick tomorrow. Oh, PTO, prepare the others. Listen. You can say prepare the others. I just say paid time off. That's it. They give a personal day. No, ma'am, I need more than one personal day. Yep, that's right, Quiet Storm. I'm tired of looking at y'all. I'm not coming in. I don't even do that. I'm taking sick leave today. I'm not well. And dare somebody to ask me what's wrong. None of your business. I don't have to tell you that. Amber, it's not because you work in oncology. That's not why. Some people, they're fucking nosy when you want to take days off. And some people, right, they want to, because some people think it's a medal of honor to have perfect attendance for work. What do you get for that? Nothing. You don't get nothing for perfect attendance at work. Nothing. 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 So because I don't get nothing for perfect attendance at work, I don't know why people call in coughing. I don't even do that. What I will do is I'll do it to my coworkers, like as a joke to them, because they already know I'm taking a sick day and I ain't sick. They don't care. I'm already like, y'all, I can already feel that I'm going to be sick tomorrow. Just letting y'all know in advance. I'm going to be sick. Now with management, I just say, I'm not feeling well, taking a day. They don't need to know anything else. They don't need to. People, and they can ask you for a doctor's note. Most of the time they don't. You say, if you take days like that at my job, they count against you. Oh, on a merit increase. See, I don't care about shit like that. Because I be thinking companies look for any reason not to give you a raise anyway. So then that's when I start playing mind games with them. So question. So when I'm not feeling well, would you rather me come in here and cough on people and make everybody sick? Or would you rather me take the day off? Because charity start at home and I don't live at work. That's another thing I was taught. Charity starts at home and I don't live at work. So what is the benefit in, you know what I'm saying? What is the benefit in working even though I know I'm extremely sick? There's no benefit in that. There's no benefit in that at all. There's no benefit in that. I'm just checking something. I'm looking at something as I wrap up this morning. Oh, I can't even say this on here, what I just saw. Y'all, guess what? I just saw it. Get this shit. Now, y'all know how a right-wing person had bought CBS, right? Well, Stephen Colbert just came out and said the network CBS banned him from interviewing James Tallarico on The Late Show. Told y'all. I told you that rich and powerful people, they want to dictate what information you have access to, right? They want to dictate it. And because they want to dictate it, for one very special reason. So that you don't get influenced and expect something from the system that you're supposed to get. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. They can't have somebody like James Challarico giving you any ideas that, I don't know, your government should work for you. Wow. Wow. Now keep in mind, has some shit like that happen in the opposite direction, Republicans will be screaming from the rooftop that they're being censored. That's fucking crazy, but not surprising. Not surprising. Like, I don't know if y'all saw, okay, I'm gonna tell you, I gotta tell you this, that I saw with Thomas Massey yesterday. So I had showed y'all what Thomas Massey had put on X last week, saying he's happy, he don't want to hurt himself, so he knows how to swim, he don't go nowhere near his tractor, his brakes are working on his car, like making very clear, like, I'm good. So if something happened to me, just note I'm good, right? Well, on top of that, yesterday, Thomas Massey, he comes out front of the Capitol and he said outright that the Epstein files are being withheld because Jeffrey Epstein had close ties to a certain country that starts with the letter I, that he has close ties to a certain intelligence organization inside that country, and he has certain ties to U.S. intelligence. A congressman, a Republican congressman, said this yesterday on video. On video. No, it's real. Thomas Massey said he's done acting like what's happening ain't happening. Folks are covering up. Nah, Jeffrey not still alive. Because I'm going to tell y'all why. And I talked about this before. Jeffrey Epstein had a honeypot situation going on. Right? Where they're putting situations in play and rich people are doing what they're doing. Right? And then you're able to leverage the power and the connections of those rich people. You're able to lean on them because you got compromise on them. You got compromise on them. Now, the rumor now is, at least what Thomas Massey, and he has access to more information than we do, because remember, he gets to see the redacted files. He's saying, hey, Epstein had ties to U.S. intelligence and that other country's intelligence. I'm just saying, folks, it's something smelling. Some smells. Something smells. And then, hold up. And then, I'm going to tell you something else I saw yesterday. Then on top of that, Nancy Mace comes out yesterday and says that all the audio and all the video from all of the pinhole cameras from all of Jeffrey Epstein's properties are missing from the Epstein files. Where all of that stuff go? They don't want you to know what's in those files because they don't want to hold nobody accountable. They don't want to hold nobody accountable. But guess what's starting to happen? Yesterday it was reported France raided multiple locations as a part of the Epstein criminal investigation in Europe, because they're starting to do their investigation. Why? Because America's trying to cover up shit. Then on top of that, New Mexico, they have approved a $2.5 million truth commission. And that truth commission has subpoena power, and that truth commission is there to investigate the Epstein's Zorro Ranch. Yeah, that Zorro Ranch is about to get a full throttle investigation. Yep. And the commission begins tomorrow. And they're thinking that testimony could lead to criminal prosecutions. China's investigating too. I'm glad. Yup, because but this is the thing, user 229. Once they start getting warrants and shit, a owner can't stop a search, right? When the government show up to search your shit and they have a warrant, you can't stop nothing. You can't stop nothing. That's the bottom line. And I keep saying, if people ain't got nothing to hide, they wouldn't hide anything, right? They wouldn't hide anything if they had nothing to hide. But the thing is, these people have a lot to hide. They got a lot to hide. That's why they don't want us to know what's in those files. Listen, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. Don't lose focus, folks. Real talk. Don't lose focus, because you can walk and chew gum at the same fucking time. Now people have uncovered in the files a professor from Harvard. His name is Martin Nowak. They have an email in which he was asking if somebody was tortured. I told y'all this thing go deep. And it goes so deep that they all working together to try to stop us from knowing what the hell really happened. But don't lose sight of it. Don't lose sight of it. So, and then they're talking about that Jeffrey Epstein personally funded the right-wing online media sphere. He founded, I don't know if that's true about that R politics thing. And then, I got to read this for later. Then they released something talking about Epstein emails reveal horrifying plants he grew and how he may have used them on his victims. Like I said, y'all, this shit go deep. A lot more deeper than they want us to know. And don't forget, Virginia Giuffre said she had put out a tweet too at some point saying before she had died that she wasn't suicidal. She didn't want to hurt herself. And then she came up unalive, and then they said she did it to herself. If nothing is going to happen, it's because the people don't want nothing to happen. What does that say about America? Thank you for the potato, dog. It's just something to think about. It's just something to think about. That's all I'm saying. And Trump is saying he don't have nothing to hide. Yet the Justice Department won't release everything, and they did all those redactions up against the shit that they did release. If he has nothing to hide, why won't he have the Justice Department release it all? Trump is a liar. He's a liar. And obviously he did some things that he shouldn't have done. He says, I'm going to tell you exactly what Trump says. Trump says, I have nothing to hide. I have been exonerated. I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. I have been totally exonerated on Epstein. No, he hasn't. Trump is hiding. Trump is hiding. Remember, he ran on exposing all this shit. Then he gets in office and does everything to stop you from seeing it. And don't forget what I told you. Pam Bondi was the AG in Florida. She been helping him hide shit for a minute. Thank you, Jesse. She been helping him hide shit for a minute. Don't forget that. And then Thomas Massey was he cutting up today already. 7:05 this morning. I'm gonna read to you something Thomas Massey put online. Okay. Now he was retweeting a tweet that he had put out of September 4th in 2021. Okay. Thomas Massey said in 2021, he was replying to JD Vance in 2021. He said, remember when we learned that our wealthiest and most powerful people were connected to a guy who ran a literal, you know what? He said, and then that guy mysteriously unalived in jail. And now we just don't talk about it. So then Thomas Massey retweeted himself and he wrote, some of us never forget. He put that up today. Today. Yep, Pam Bondi is Donald Trump's Ghislaine Maxwell. Thomas Massey been keeping the same energy. Now I'm going to tell you somebody else that's retiring because they were in the files. Here's another one. Again, if they didn't do nothing, why are they retiring? Why are they quitting? That Wasserman guy, he is selling his agency. Because so many celebrities now are saying, I don't want to be affiliated with that dude because you was in them files. So he's selling his agency. Why would you need to sell if you ain't do nothing? So Tom Pritzker, the billionaire Tom Pritzker, he announced he is retiring as executive chairman of Hyatt Hotels because of his association with Jeffrey Epstein. Oh yeah, everybody trying to jump ship. But they think jumping ship is going to make us go, we don't care about them files. We want those files. We want those files. Real talk. We want the files, and not having access to them, honestly, they just makes us want them more. That's just real talk. It makes us want it more, not less. More. Now, y'all, tomorrow on Patreon, man, these people been digging their ass off in these files. They uncovered a video in the files I'm trying to see what's happening here. What the fuck? I'm going to save that. We're going to look at that shit tomorrow. The fuck? I can't even say what I saw. I just know And I see a story where somebody says nobody stopped violating people because Jeffrey Epstein is no longer living. Just note that. And it's what I've been telling y'all the whole time. It's what I've been telling y'all the whole time. Real talk. Real talk. I'm just checking something. Now, I'll put this up on my Patreon for folks to access it. The Free Press has put all 14 hours of video together in one place. So all the video that was in that stuff, they've put it all together in a single location so you can see everything at once. You ain't got to dig for it. So if you go to thefp.com, you can get all of those videos and they ain't got to dig through everything on your own. Wow. So just note that's something that you can do. Go to thefp.com and you can get access to all the videos. So y'all, don't let this Epstein thing go away. I caution and encourage all of you not to let this Epstein thing fall by the wayside, because the rich and powerful people who were violating our most vulnerable people, they want you to just act like it's not okay. The website is called the word the, the letter F as in Frank, P as in Paul.com. I told y'all Trump was going to expose a lot of people, and all the people making excuses about what has happened, all those people. Good thing they wear MAGA hats, because the MAGA hats allow us to know up front who are people who support who are the people who support this stuff. The hats tell us. We don't even have to wait for them to say nothing. Oh, and then one more thing on that Stephen Colbert thing. He did interview James Tallarico, but CBS will not allow him to air the interview. So Stephen Colbert posted it on the internet. The interview's on the internet. They would not broadcast it on CBS. You know why? Because Tallarico is saying things that would cause some Republicans to agree, and they can't have that. They want people in a bubble. They want them in a bubble. So yeah, that video is out and is accessible because Stephen Colbert put it out. Now, I think what I know, now I'm going to save that to the side. Yeah, something's got to give, y'all. And guess who went and put something on Alex Peretti's memorial? Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle went to Minneapolis. He's in Minneapolis, and he went to the memorial for Alex Peretti to honor him. And I like that he did that, because the media will follow Dave Chappelle, and he knows that. So he's using it to his advantage to shine a light on the shit, because the media being the media and its love for celebrity culture. Wherever celebrities go, the media is going to show up and record it. So Dave said, well, since you're going to be here, you're going to follow me anyway, and you're going to try to be all up in my business. Well, guess what? This is where I am. You say Tallarico is Dem's answer to the Christian nationalists. Yeah, I'm going to tell you somebody else who's dangerous too. I can't think of his name right now. Pete Buttigieg. I've always felt like Pete Buttigieg is the type of candidate that also scares Republicans. Pete Buttigieg scares them. He scares them because he can speak to people in a way that Republicans don't like, that cause people to really think about things. I love me some Pete. You say Summer Lee as well? Yeah, it causes people to think, and people need to be thinking, y'all. People need to be thinking. Real talk. People need to be thinking. And that's just real stuff. People need to, I don't know, man. Now I want y'all to listen to this recent news. Anderson Cooper leaves 60 Minutes after 2 decades. Stephen Colbert reveals that the network won't let him air an interview with a Democrat. A producer says politics dictates what airs. Owners bid for CNN parent back on the table. And the pals of Jeffrey Epstein have not been fired. Y'all see, these rich people are working together to keep us from knowing what's in them fucking files. And they're going to keep on doing it as long as we don't deal with it. Real talk. As long as we don't deal with it, it's going to stay being a problem. As long as we don't deal with it. I want to remind you of this today. Look, I forgot to put this up earlier. Where you at? Where you at? Where my dude at? Hold on, y'all. I got to find my dude real quick. There you go. I just want to put a shout out and say this young man is a national hero. If you haven't seen the video, if you haven't seen the video of this young gentleman handling an ignorant ass student at the school, this is our man. What do they say? I love when he hit the, okay, like, all right, I don't give a shit. I'll get in trouble because you should be punched in the face. So on this day, just note, and I want to remind you something as I'm wrapping up. Don't forget that 44% of workers in the United States are paid less than a living wage. I'm going to say that again. 44% of workers are paid less than a minimum wage. Okay? Less than. A lot of workers don't earn sick leave. We talked about that this morning. A lot of folks don't earn sick leave at all. And just note, when workers, and I'm reading this here, when workers are paid less than a living wage, they're forced to rely on social safety nets to survive. That's not a taxpayer handout to workers. The taxpayer has been handing handouts to corporations. If you got to get food assistance, it's only because you don't make enough to feed your family. The system got you so on your neck so fucking hard, you don't have enough money to feed your family. And instead of the government wanting to feed you, it takes your money and gives it to rich people. I just want you to think about that. I just want you to think about that. And then I'm going to end on this high note of Ma'am Donnie. In New York City had the safest January on record. Unalives were down 60%, and pew pew events were down 20%. Remember when conservatives told you if this Muslim man gets control of New York City, how it would get so bad? Lies they tell. They doing great. They doing great. And now rich people got to pay their taxes too. They don't like it. Listen, thank y'all for joining me this morning. Don't forget, those of you who are members of Patreon, the newest episode of the Straight No Chaser podcast is going to pop for you today. And this episode that I'm doing today, that's going to come out today, I wanted to talk about celebrity culture in America. I wanted to talk about that. That James Vanderbeek stuff made me want to talk about how Americans are they love celebrities so much. They act like they're incapable of loving anybody else the way they love a fucking celebrity. And how that celebrity culture has eroded our own culture. Celebrities are people just like me and you. They're not special. Contrary to what people, they just have a job that has them out in the forefront and we see them a lot. But they're not more special than you. So I wanted to talk about that this week. So I think that you'll like that discussion. So check it out. I agreed to pre-Reagan tax cuts. We need to tax the rich. But that was back when Republicans would tax rich people. But then Reagan also fucked up credit cards too. But it's a whole, we can't do everything right? Broken clock is right at least twice a day, right? But you're going to like this episode, okay? And then as a reminder, don't forget, I'm going to remind y'all again, those of you who are in here, if you want to make money with your content, get your ass on Drumbeat. I'm going to say it and keep saying it. Get your ass on Drumbeat. I got paid out some more yesterday. Look, I'll show you. $1,319.78 for 17 total submissions. That's it. So you can keep playing. The address is hellodrumbeat.com. Get your ass over there. Okay? They pay you for the videos that you already make on social media platforms. They don't care about how many followers you have. You don't need a lot of followers. You don't. I know somebody already that I referred to it made $500 something off of one video. Somebody else $75 off another thing. People are already getting their payouts. Me telling you about it, I don't get nothing from telling you about it. Now, I do have a referral link, but I ain't even putting it in here. Go to hellodrumbeat.com. They're looking for content creators. And thank you, Kay Clark. I appreciate that. But Kay Clark, you can make money off of these people too. Get your ass over there before they don't have any opportunities today. But I'm thinking by tomorrow or Thursday, they probably gonna pop. So apply. It takes a week or two to get accepted. But once you do, you in like Flynn and they do direct deposit. Okay? So listen, I appreciate y'all guys for being here. Ladies and gents for being here with me this morning. And we stayed into the afternoon. Tomorrow we do have an uncensored live after our TikTok live. So be ready to go in the morning. Thank you for the over 100,000 likes. I appreciate it. We got over 60 shares. I appreciate that as well. Before I wrap up, I'm going to send a shout out to my top 5 gifters. I try to do this every live when I can. Number 1, Miss Beautiful Jessie loves food and things. Thank you so much. Number 2, beautiful CJ loves everyone. Thank you so much, beautiful. Number 3, handsome Marky. Thank you so much, handsome. Number 4, beautiful. My dog is Charlie. Thank you so much, beautiful. And thank you for the moderation assistance this morning. Number 5, handsome Cedric Williams. Thank you so much, handsome. And special number 6 to beautiful Kay Clark TikTok Resist. Thank you so much, beautiful. Thank you to all the mods for helping me this morning. And for those of you who live in South Carolina and you live in Florida, be safe and protect yourself. Them fucking patriot pox is tearing them fucking states up. Them freedom freckles is wearing they ass out. Okay? Exercise your freedom too and protect yourself. Okay? Protect yourself. Love you guys. Have a beautiful and blessed day. I'll see you this afternoon. Don't let nobody live rent free in your head. Don't feed any trolls. And you can accomplish anything you put your mind to as long as you stay consistent, folks. Peace. And I'll see you this afternoon.